There are 21 weapons in Demon Slayer, and one of them was so perfectly forged that even the strongest Upper Moon demon Kokushibo couldn't destroy it. But the crazy thing is, there's also a powerful demon who wields a weapon capable of summoning an entire army of monsters. And the only way to effectively fight against them is with Nichirin swords. These katanas are the meta, most effective tactics available against demons because they're made from a mineral called scarlet, scarlet, iron sand, and scarlet ore, which can be found on Mount Gyoko. This mountain is so high that it's always sunny with no clouds or rain throughout the year. Because of this, the scarlet ore and iron sand absorb sunlight continuously, making the blades highly effective against demons. That's why if you translate Nichirin swords, it means solar blade. Another interesting thing about the Nichirin sword is that they are also known as color changing katanas because their color changes the moment they are first drawn by the slayer. But if the user isn't skilled enough, then the blade won't change its color. Did you know that the sword colors actually have a meaning? For example, Tanjiro's sword is a black Nichirin. Since this type of blade is so rare, many details about them are unknown, and most black blade swordsmen were known to be unsuccessful. Actually, there's a theory to why these demon slayers didn't achieve their full potential. In chapter 54, when Rengoku learned Tanjiro's blade color, he pointed out two interesting things. Number one, Rengoku said that he had never seen a black blade user become a Hashira. Number two, from what Rengoku heard, black Nichirin users don't even know which breathing style to master. And you know why these slayers don't know which style to master? Because the breathing style they are meant to learn no longer exists. And that style is sun breathing. According to this theory, the moment a slayer draws their sword, the color that shows up tells them which breathing style they're best suited for. Like for example, yellow swords for thunder breathing, blue for water, red for flame, and green for wind. The point is, from the start our boy Tanjiro has always been a sun breathing user. Why? Because the OG sun breathing user, Yoriichi Tsugikuni, also had a black blade. When Rengoku mentioned that none of the black blade users have become a Hashira, it's because they didn't reach their full potential, since there was no one left to teach them sun breathing, which made them unsuccessful. Not only did Yoriichi die, but Muzan and Kokushibo also killed all the slayers who knew sun breathing and its forms. Thanks to Tanjiro's ancestors though, sun breathing was preserved through dance moves, known as the Hinokami Kagura. Aside from swords, there are also other weapons that are either made from Nichirin ores or dipped in wisteria-based poison, such as the kunai blades of Tengen and his wives. Since his wives can't fight like demon slayers, they upgraded their weapons to be more effective against demons and to support Tengen with long-range attacks. Just like when Hinatsuru wielded an insane crossbow of kunai that are coated with wisteria-based poison. Though it's a make-or-break attack with only a single barrage of kunai, the poison in the knives is powerful enough to paralyze a demon for half a day. This was effective against the Upper Moon Gyutaro, as the poison nullified his regeneration. But do you think if Obanai had arrived early in the Entertainment District arc, bro could solo Gyutaro? Especially with his weapon, the modified Nichirin blade that looks like an Indonesian Chris sword. This katana is perfect for his breathing style, as its slithering motions let him twist and bend his attacks. However, not all demon slayers can use breathing styles like Genya. He might suck at sword swinging, but Lil Bro was the gangsta of demon slayers, because homie was slaying demons with guns. And you know what's inside these little killing machines? Balls. Nichirin balls. Genya used them as bullets to blow the hell out of demons' heads. If these guns didn't work, Genya would use to say hello to my little friend, a mini Nichirin sword, wakizashi. If demon slayers have Genya, their gangster, then demons have their own sports team, like Susamaru. The girl uses her blood demon art to whip up Temari handballs anytime she wants. These balls are so hard they can easily smash through anything they hit whenever she throws or kicks them. Yet they can still be pierced by something sharp, like a Nichirin sword. Her balls become even deadlier when she combines them with Yahaba's arrows. With their combo, her Temari balls move like homing missiles. The funny thing about this demon girl is she got cheated and tricked into thinking she's one of the 12 Kizuki, unlike Kyogai, who actually used to be a member of the lower rank demons. But I've been thinking, why do Muzan and some of his 12 Kizuki look like a band? I mean, think about it, right? Their king is dripping like Michael. Then there's their head guitarist, Nakime. Zohakuten on drums, and Kyogai, who was a former Lower Moon and also a drummer. But Michael Muzan kicked him out of the band because he wasn't good enough, you know? Despite getting kicked out, we saw how strong this guy was, especially when he used his blood demon art and his weapon, the Suzumi drums. This guy had 6 of them stuck in his body, each one doing something different to the room around him, but only inside his mansion. Like when he taps his right shoulder, the room rotates to the right. Tap the left, it rotates to the left. Tap the left leg, it rotates backward. The scary one is a drum on his navel, because if Kyogai taps that, he can easily slice up his targets. And the craziest one, every time he pats his back, he can teleport himself or his targets to a different room in the mansion. Luckily, that drum fell out when other demons tried to mess with Kyogai, and Kyoshi later used this to avoid the demons. Since I've mentioned Zohakuten, he's actually a merged form of 4 Hantengu clones, one of which is Aizetsu, the sad dude who wields a Jumonji Yari, a long cross-shaped spear made from his flesh. Aside from their unique personalities and abilities, Hantengu's clones also possess unique weapons that match their techniques and attacks. Aizetsu basically uses his weapon to puncture and slice his targets. He takes advantage of the length of his spear to fight against the swords of the demon slayers. Luckily, my boy Genya uses American breathing. I'm just playing. No such thing. Got him. I mean, he came through using his gun and surprised Aizetsu by shooting his head off during their fight. Now, that's pretty American. But Aizetsu got his revenge with his technique, weeping spears, launching powerful thrusts so strong that when Genya tried to save Tanjiro by acting as a heroic human shield, Genya ended up looking like a block of cheese. That's just one of the powerful weapons the Hantengu's clones wield. There's even another one that can actually be used by others, even if it's not one of the clones. And I'm gonna get to the details of that weapon soon. Compared to the other clones' weapons, Aizetsu's spear doesn't have any special techniques aside from its ability to extend and unleash powerful thrusts. Aizetsu's weapon might have high DPS, damage per second, but Daki's got the better drip. The sassy silver demon rocks sashes, or should I say slashes, that are like a set of knives that she can use to slice through buildings easily. Not only that, these sashes can also be used for defense and extend so long, like they're probably longer than your relationship. These obi also yap a lot and are great at snitching, because every time they find new info, they'll quickly send DMs to Daki and spill all the tea. These sashes are also super sneaky. They can store all sorts of things, especially people that, Daki plans to eat later for her midnight snacks. Now for the demon team's sword club, one of its members is Kaigaku. This guy had a DIY katana made from his own flesh and blood that amps the power of his blood demon art, which is electrokinesis. Since this demon powers let him create and control black lightning from his body, it's a perfect combo for his thunder breathing. By the way, this lightning ain't just electrifying, it tears up and burns any target. Kaigaku also uses this to boost his attack range and speed, making his attacks way more lethal. In his fight with Zenitsu, Kaigaku's lightning nearly destroyed our boy's eyes. Even though Kaigaku mastered most of the forms of thunder breathing, he couldn't master the most important thing, the first form, thunderclap and flash. And here's a theory to why Kaigaku can't do that. According to some fans, he can't use it because he wears his sword sheath on his back. If he wore it by the waist, like other thunder breathing users, Kaigaku would have mastered the first form easily. What a dummy. And to be honest, even though Kaigaku made the new Upper Moon 6, it's obvious that Gyutaro was stronger. This steppa strapped up with a pair of sickles, or kama in Japanese. Like most demons, Gyutaro's weapons were made from his own flesh. What makes him even deadlier is that these sickles are soaked in his own toxic blood. They're so poisonous that if Nezuko didn't save Tengen, bro would have died. Like you and I would have been crying. Aside from being toxic, these sickles are known for their durability and sharpness, letting them easily slice through flesh and parry attacks. Gyutaro could also control his kama telekinetically, calling them back to his hand like Thor's hammer. While Gyutaro can recall his sickles, another of Hantengu's clones wields a weapon that can easily blow his targets away, with almost no chance of returning it all. Karaku wields an uchiwa. No, not that one. An uchiwa. But coincidentally, it is a leaf-shaped fan that is made from his own flesh. The fan literally allows him to create powerful gusts of wind to blow enemies and even destroy an entire building. So basically, you don't want that fan at your barbecue because, one swing and ain't nobody coming back. Because actually, like when I started talking about it earlier, others can also use the fan at its powers. You see, Karaku's kind of an airhead, being the laid-back clone of Antengu. That's why Nezuko was able to steal Karaku's weapon when she kicked him in the head and tore off his arm. Nezuko Uno reversed Karaku and used his own Uchiwa to blow him away. So I'm thinking, since Nezuko was able to use the powers of Karaku's Uchiwa, does that mean the other weapons of Antengu's clones like Sekido's staff can also be used by someone else? I mean, I don't think Sekido's staff can be stolen as easily. You see, Sekido on the other hand wields a kakara, or a staff that is also made from, yep, you guessed it, his own flesh. Damn, you guys nasty. This weapon lets him launch powerful lightning strikes that can zap and even paralyze his targets when he pierces the kakara into the ground. Sekido also used it as a melee weapon, stabbing Nezuko in the neck with the staff. Because the staff is made out of flesh, Sekido can easily create another one. He attacked Tanjiro with a newly created staff while pinning Nezuko down with the original. Interestingly, since it is made from Hantengu's tissue, the electricity generated by the weapon can't affect part of Hantengu's body, including his clones. Tanjiro, having a high battle IQ, figured this out and used Urogi's claws to block the lightning strike from Sekido's kakara. But you know what's even scarier than Sekido's lightning? Poison. Shinobu's poison. Her weapon might look like a regular katana, but it actually has a tip. That's what she said. That looks like an insect's stinger. It's also perfect for injecting wisteria poison into demons, making up for Shinobu's lack of strength and inability to behead them. She also modified the sheath of her sword to act as a portable poison mixer and loader. Aside from Shinobu's stinger, did you know that Tengen Uzui's swords are also some of the most unique weapons among the Demon Slayer Corps? The Sound Hashira wields flashy dual Nichirin cleavers, perfect for a flashy Riz machine ninja like my guy Tengen. His weapons have an amber color representing sound, making them ideal for the flamboyant creator of sound breathing. These dual swords are so powerful that until Gyutaru, no other demon had survived a blow from them. Well, Gyutaru didn't survive either. He was defeated by, both of them, Tengen and Tanjiro. Tengen's weapons kind of look like nunchuck blades since they're connected by chains on their hilts. They are so massive for a sword that it doesn't have traditional sheaths. Instead, Tengen wraps them in a cloth and carries them on his back. They can even produce high AoE damage. In case you're a non-gamer, AoE, area of effect. That is so intense, it can easily shatter the surface, just like when Tengen blasted a hole in the solid ground to access the tunnel beneath, where Inosuke is trying to save Zenitsu and Tengen's wives. Besides the usual sword slashes, Tengen can spin and rotate his weapon like a madman to create a more powerful strike that also works as a shield to block and deflect incoming attacks. And that's not all. Tengen can also extend the reach of his weapons by holding the tip of his blade while swinging the other end towards the enemy. Basically, these nunchuck blades provide a range of attack options for Tengen. On top of this, he even uses exploding beads and kunai to complement his fighting style and his cleavers. What's even crazier is, he has trained Giga Chad rats, called ninju, that can carry all his weapons. Tengen's ripped-ass rats are strong enough that a single rat can carry and deliver a sword, just like when two Ratatouilles brought Inosuke swords all by themselves. These sneaky pets are quite handy, especially when transporting weapons during distant missions. But they're not as sneaky as the upper moon, Gyoko's vase is. He can literally spawn these jars and pots anywhere without being noticed. Moichiro had a hard time sensing their locations, until they were close enough to him. Gyoko's vases are essentially the core of his blood demon art. His piranha-themed techniques and abilities come from all kinds of vases that he spawns. Just like when the Upper Moon demons ambushed the Swordsmith village, Gyoko summoned an army of massive Magikarp monsters that caused chaos in the whole village. These monsters are powerful enough to kill the Demon Slayer guards, protecting the Swordsmiths. And aside from his main vessel where he usually keeps himself, he uses countless pots where he can easily teleport to confuse the enemy and spam deadly attacks. These deadly attacks also have their own unique vases, like the 10,000 gliding slime fish, which comes from multiple pots, and the octopus vase hell, which on the other hand emerges from a single one. This creepy mofo, come on, you know it, he creepy, also considers his vases pieces of art, using them as canvases for his messed up masterpieces, like when he literally compressed the swordsmiths into a pot and called them death throes of the smiths. Straight serial killer vibes. Gyoko can manipulate the inside of his vases, which is why he was able to stuff multiple bodies inside a rather small pot. He even developed his true form inside his main vessel, creating transparent scales, set to be stronger than diamond, and transforming himself into an icky merman. Gyoko's basically strong because of his vases, and I think without the vases he won't be powerful enough to be considered in the ranks of the Upper Moon demons. His army of monsters were ultimately destroyed by kanroji. Even though Gyoko's monster goldfish were too much to handle, Mitsuri thrashed most of them with her weapon, which is a super thin, flexible, long Nichirin sword that works like a whip. In chapter 123, it's mentioned that kanroji's technique is so fast that it even surpasses the fastest Hashira, not Zenitsu, Tengen. Her speed comes not just from her unique and powerful katana, but also from her own perk, her flexibility. Kanroji's katana has a wide range, letting her slash and weave through her ops. However, because of this katana's unique shape, it's hard to use, and anyone who tries will likely cut themselves. That's why Kanroji is the only one who can handle this weapon. Mitsuri flexed her sword skills when she fought against Zohakuten. When Hantengu's 4 clones merge and transform into a single, strongest clone, their powerful weapons ironically change to a smaller one. Zohakuten wields bone-like daggers and a drum set on his back to control his blood demon art. Hashirama's wood-style jutsu. You know, the big-ass wooden dragons. It's actually called countless striking trees. He can spam these wooden dragons and control them using the daggers as drumsticks to chase down the enemies and crush them. Aside from this, Zohakuten can also use the abilities of the clones he absorbed. But the thing is, Zohakuten's version is even more powerful. Like when he used Urogi's Sonic Scream and unleashed a brutal attack, compressed sound waves, against kanroji. This guy is basically a cheat code. He can't be killed because he isn't the original body, yet he possesses powerful techniques to strike down enemies by just using the small daggers and the drums on his back. And if Tanjiro hadn't finished off the real body, Zohakuten would have killed Mitsuri. But what would happen if Gyomei were in the swordsmith village? Do you think our boy could destroy Zohakuten? Especially since Gyomei is strapped with a crazy weapon, a flail and an axe, made of material so pure that even the big steppa, Upper Moon 1 Kokushibo, can't destroy it. This weapon is made from pure iron that absorbed a lot of sunlight, making it extremely strong. Kokushibo said that this material is so unique that even the best swordsmiths in the Sengoku period couldn't discover it. This weapon is also tough enough to break Kokushibo's blade. The design of Gyomei's flail and axe helps him in combat. So even though he's blind, he can sense his surroundings by listening to the vibrations of his weapon. And in the Infinity Castle, he was able to move carefully through the maze created by Nakime's crazy abilities. Nakime is probably the only demon who became an Upper Moon just by sitting on her ass inside the Infinity Castle. She's probably so broken, that's why they just let her stay seated all the time, I guess. She literally owns and controls the entire structure of the Infinity Castle with her weapon/instrument, Biwa. She can easily switch the rooms and their orientations, turn the whole place upside down, make pillars fall, and basically anything she wants. She can even summon people inside her domain with just a single pluck of the Biwa strength, using a huge-ass Baki pick. Her weapons might not be killing machines, but her techniques are incredibly annoying. She easily fought the Hashiras, Igoro, and Kanroji without even moving from her seat. Like damn, if I were her, like my legs would be numb AF. Like many of the Upper Moon's blood demon arts, Doma uses a pair of golden war fans to cast his icy cold techniques. His fans produce air so cold that when Doma used blood demon art, Frozen Lotus, Shinobu said it felt like her lungs would burst from the cold. These sharp fans can also instantly freeze the target's eyes. For example, the blood demon art, freezing clouds, nearly froze Kanao's eyes. But the good thing was, she was fast enough to dodge the attack just in time. Doma's fans can launch attacks ranging from blizzards of ice shards to summoning cold princesses that blow icy winds, instantly freezing the surroundings. But that's not all. Aside from his insane techniques, Doma is also a powerful close combat fighter. He's also an expert in a real-life martial art technique that uses solid or a folding iron fan, the Tessenjutsu. Similar to the Kyoshi warriors from Avatar, these extremely skilled Tessenjutsu martial arts can fight even against swordsmen using just a fan. Doma is an Upper Moon demon for a reason. He showcased his combat abilities when he easily overpowered Shinobu in their fight. Well, Shinobu ain't a great fighter with a katana, but still, she is one of the fastest among the Hashira. He's basically too strong for even Kanao and Inosuke. If he hadn't been poisoned by Shinobu, he could have easily defeated the two demon slayers. And who knows, even for the toughest Hashira, Doman could be a real problem, just like Kokushibo. Back when he was a demon slayer, Michikatsu, aka Kokushibo, perfected moon breathing. You see, the breathing techniques are just visual effects. But when Kokushibo became a demon, he crafted a katana that can unleash real attacks based on moon breathing. And that weapon is Kyokoku Kamusari. This weapon is incredibly powerful. Every swing of Kokushibo's sword are just pure destructive powers. Like man, it's the god tier combo of a slayer's swordsmanship and a demon's abilities combined. And that's not all, he can even see any incoming attacks and easily defend against them. In its base form, the strikes from the katana and the crescent moon blades that follow each slash are deadly enough to overpower three powerful Hashira. The strongest Gyomei, the prodigy Moichiro, and the high AP Sanemi. Usually AP means attack power, but in Sanemi's case, it stands for anger power. And all of them were nearly annihilated when they fought Kokushibo. Moichiro even used a mist breathing form that he created himself. Wow, round of applause for creativity. But Kokushibo easily destroyed him and cut off his hands with a single slash of moon breathing first form. Just when Gyomei and Sanemi thought they might defeat the upper moon Kokushibo, he revealed an even more powerful version of his katana. He sprouted additional blades within the main blades, transforming it into an insanely powerful weapon that is capable of striking with even more devastating attacks. He even tried to finish the three Hashira all at once with an attack that kind of looks like a combination of the previous forms of moon breathing, creating a 14th form, Catastrophe, 10-man crescent moon. Those are just some of the forms of moon breathing fused with blood demon art. After living for nearly 500 years, he has honed his blood demon art and moon breathing to create at least 16 forms, making his breathing style the one with the most forms in all of Demon Slayer.